Hello from the other side of the world, it's the fake Brit, and right now I'd like to talk to you about something I really wanted to talk about since ages ago. But before anything else, if you want to keep in touch with my future videos, I suggest that you subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And without further ado, let's go. Welcome to the 21st century, where almost everyone has a Facebook account. Let's face it, these days, you can just count on your fingers the number of people that you know that are not on Facebook. It's how life is, and it's how it's going to be for a very long time. So what's the big issue here? Well, nothing really. It's just that a lot of people these days tend to rely on Facebook as their primary source of information. I mean, it's not like Facebook is a site dedicated to news, health advice, or science, or whatever, but it seems that people are using it for that very purpose. Well, now, I don't see anything wrong with it. Well, sure, Facebook is primarily a social networking site where you get to share photos, talk to your friends, make conversations with strangers and things like that, but if it has this kind of information, then what's wrong with it? I certainly don't see anything wrong with it. Do you? I suppose you don't. And thanks to that sarcasm alert, you now know that what I just said earlier was plain rubbish. Of course I see everything wrong with using Facebook as your primary source of information. It's not a site that's really meant to deliver news, health advice, or scientific facts, or anything that has to do with facts for that matter. So what you should do is that you should treat everything you see on Facebook with a grain of salt. If it seems to be factual, you have to do further research before you consider it as fact. And of course, you shouldn't just share away. That is the biggest mistake anyone can do on Facebook. So what am I supposed to do? I just want to share information to my friends. And if that information is useful, then I want to share it to my friends. I mean, after all, sharing is caring, innit? Well, not all the time. Sharing misinformation is certainly not caring. So what are you supposed to do, you ask? Well, the answer consists of 3 very simple words. Check the facts. How do you do that? It's very simple. Let me give you 3 ways on how to check your facts. Fact-checking tip number 1. If the information contains a link to another website, click on the link, read the article for yourself, and evaluate if the article is really worth the title. Otherwise, it's called clickbait, which means the title, or the headline, is just an over-exaggeration of something on the side. It's not really the main point of the article. So if you find something that is clickbait, then it does not deserve to be shared. Throw it out the window and move on. You do nothing good by sharing clickbait. It only serves to create a tidal wave of misinformation which can get people excited or worried for all the wrong reasons. So again, if you encounter clickbait, throw it out the window. Fact-checking tip number 2. Once you've read the article, check the website that the article came from if it really is a reliable source of information. Many websites these days have an about page, and if you can just scour around the site and find the about page, you will see what the website really is all about. So if you find from the about page that it's a reliable and legitimate source of information, then maybe the article has a lot of truth to it. If not, then again, you'll have to throw that information out the window. And especially if it came from a satire site. It's a website whose sole purpose is to make fun of everything it sees around it. If your information comes from a satire news site, then it is most certainly false and just a joke. Therefore, it's not true and it doesn't deserve to be shared. Or if you would like to share it, make sure to tell your readers that it is a piece of satire and it's not to be taken truthfully. Simple, yeah? Fact-checking tip number 3. If you still can't decide if the information you have is true and reliable, then check more websites, do a little further research. As we always say these days, Google it. Google it further. See what other websites are saying about it. If they're telling you that it's true, and those websites are reliable ones, then perhaps the story is really true, and you can go ahead and share it away if you want. But If you did your research and find out that other websites have tagged this information as false and misleading, then you know what to do. Throw the story out the window and don't bother anymore with it. And don't forget to tell your friends to stop sharing the misleading information. You don't want it to spread like wildfire, do you? Especially if it's misinformation. See how simple it is to check the facts? It's not rocket science, certainly. Even a 4-year-old could do it. And if a 4-year-old could do it, then most certainly we can. If we can't be bothered to check our facts, then we shouldn't be allowed to use the internet in the first place. I'm sure you'd agree to that, yeah? Good. Great. And at this point, I'd like to thank all of you responsible internet users for deciding to become responsible internet users. 3 cheers for you, yeah? And of course, please like this video if you learned something and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. See you all on the next video. Bye bye.